on my lap. Please, sir. I like it. You can sit on my lap.
Gentle, it's live streaming. Do you want to come sit with me? Can you put the chair for us? It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
Are we ready to start? Hello? Hello? Yeah. Are we ready to start? Let's go. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. I am honored to welcome you all on this beautiful day to the Greek Pavilion in the Blue Zone of COP28 to the launch of Mission Zero, a race to save planet Earth. A big thank you to our hosts, the Greek Pavilion. So let's begin by introducing myself. My name is Mehnaz, and I am a publisher. This is my publishing company, Uhib Book Publishing. We are a mission-based initiative that focuses on creating books for impacts. We are driven by a commitment to amplify regional voices on a global stage. In a world that's increasingly interconnected, we recognize the importance of storytelling as a bridge between communities and cultures, and we are here to break down those barriers, to foster understanding, and to celebrate the unique perspectives that each region brings to the global conversation. So as we embark on this literary journey together, let us remember the incredible potential that lies within the pages of a book. It's not just about the stories we tell, it's about the impact of those stories that we can have on the people around us. So here's introducing Mission Zero, a race to save planet Earth. This amazing book is designed for children between the ages of 8 to 12 years. It is an empowering educational tool that motivates young minds to take action. Through its characters, Omar and Sarah, that you can see on the cover page, young readers can learn that their choices matter, their actions have impact, and that they can become heroes in the race to save the planet. This book is a book of firsts. This book is one of the first that talks about the problems and solutions that are aligned with the global challenges that are being discussed today at COP28. And it has been officially approved by the United Nations as well as the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change to talk about the Sustainable Development Goals as well as the twin campaigns of Race to Zero and Race to Resilience. It also has a resounding quote of approval by the Jane Goodall Institute that we will look at a little bit later. This book also showcases some amazing strides that UAE as a country has taken for climate change through real-life examples of projects, both ongoing and upcoming. And of course, the team behind the book is what's most unique. The authors behind Mission Zero are two remarkable women who we have here, deeply devoted to the cause of sustainability. Their commitment shines through in the contributions that they have made, significantly advancing our understanding and actively implementing intelligent climate solutions within their projects. Without further ado, we have our first author, Farah Naz, who is a trailblazing climate strategist with 2 decades of experience across the USA, UK, Southeast Asia, and of course, the UAE. A chartered engineer and a Zayed inspirer, Farah is the author of Net Zero City, UAE's first book on net zero, also published by Uhib Book here in the region. As AECOM's Director of Innovation and ESG in the Middle East and North Africa, she spearheads transformative projects such as the Dubai Museum of the Future, Expo 2020 Sustainability Pavilion, and many more. Her impact extends to master planning projects like NEOM, Al-Ula, and Hudayriyat, showcasing her commitment to implementable sustainability and energy strategies. A true advocate of STEM education, Farah leaves an indelible mark on the future of sustainable innovation. A big hand to Farah Naz. And then we have Nahla Nabil, a luminary in communications, training, and leadership on LinkedIn. Currently a sustainability and ESG strategist in the transport sector. Nahla, an environmental science graduate from the University of Auckland, blends academic prowess with real-world innovation. With a Green Belt certification, BCI accreditation, and an Innovation Award, she has left her mark across aviation, railway, airport operations, and construction. A certified lead auditor, excellence assessor, and credit trainer, Nahla is a pioneering woman in Abu Dhabi's HSE sector, inspiring through schools, social platforms, and international mentoring. And of course, a dedicated mother raising two budding CEO warriors. Nahla epitomizes relentless innovation, impactful education, and sustainable leadership. I'm now going to ask both Farah and Nahla to pick up the mics in front of us and talk a little bit about how Mission Zero came about. Why did you guys think of doing this book?
Hi, everyone. So I'm an engineer. I work with a lot of projects in 3 levels: building level, master planning level, and city level. These are our daughters, Raisa, who is sitting here, and Maya, Nahla's daughter. And by the time Raisa will be 30 years old and Nahla's daughter will be roughly 40 plus years old, we're going to be facing a much hotter world full of climate emergency and biodiversity emergency. So the book kind of came about with a conversation about our children and the conversation we have with our own kids about the future and climate. And because myself and Nahla, we work in this field, as you can see, we have a lot of conversation at home. Go ahead.
So hi, hello. So we're going to take you through the book and why did we do the book. On top of what Farah was saying, the book is one of those books that will simplify complex matters in science, okay, and will make it so simple for the kids to understand. So one of those things that we keep on saying was that there are books outside in the market. There are a lot of information outside in terms of sustainability, but the real deal is still not there in terms of the real science of climate change for kids. We don't mean to sound all doom and gloom for kids, and this is why we decided to do the storytelling aspect, but we really need to bring them to the round table with us as adults. So this is why we had to bring them an important fact about the food, about the energy, and about the water. The book touches important factors and challenges within the MENA region, which is our food scarcity, food security, water scarcity, and our energy.
So why did we pick a topic, food, energy, and water nexus? Because we are at COP28 and we are talking about decarbonization. And the biggest aspect of decarbonization of our built environment is not just looking at energy, but also looking at food production and water generation. Because in this part of the world, to generate our water that we get on the taps, it's 30% of energy consumption of the whole country. So we thought it would be really good to talk about these complex ideas that we talk with our clients with our peers with, to bring it to children in a very simple storytelling way, so they take ownership of these challenges, these opportunities, and take it forward. So I'm going to touch a little bit about, do you see this timeline? This is very close to our heart, and me, Nahla, and Ashar spend so much time on that. The reason why we put this timeline is we wanted to give a context of why energy, which was one of the most important resources, became suddenly a climate crisis in the middle of a conversation. So we take the journey of ancient Egypt and industrial revolution and what the CO2 meters was during that journey, just to give kids an idea that as the humanity progressed and we got technologically advanced, climate also became challenging for us. And how do we become more aware about this?
And now comes our characters, and these are our favorite characters. You've got Sarah, you've got Omar, and Grandpa Ali. And there's a lot of care, love, and a lot of thought that was put through those characters. Ashar will take you through the funky side of the characters, which is done through our AI mid-journey. But if you look at those characters, it's just characters that resembles kids around this region. Everyone somehow knows someone who looks like Sarah or looks like Omar. You know, everyone has gone through what Grandpa Ali has gone through, because the story starts with an initial heat stress situation. And and the story just goes on trying to resonate with all the kids in the region.
So we also portray local regional case studies. So there's quite a lot of case studies in terms of energy, water, and food production. So this page kind of touches on the different examples we have in the local region. Do you want to touch
So
through
the book takes you through the challenge, because you need to bring to the kids the challenge. What is the challenge in the most simplest ways? In terms of food, in terms of water, in terms of energy. And then provides them the solution, the innovation behind the solutions. And then it goes into a bit more and take you into the UAE specific regional solutions. And the fun part in this, the research behind this was amazing, because there's a lot of amazing innovation that was involved in solving those challenges.
Thank you, Farah and Nahla. Now, going on to the design and illustration part of it, as you can see, we have some amazing images in the book, and the design and illustration used in the book combines the latest innovation in AI along with the artistic talents of our designer, Fatima Mijbil, as well as Ashar, our creative disruptor, who's here with us today. So I'm going to now call upon Ashar to talk a little bit about the design aspects of Mission Zero. What exactly were the benefits and challenges of using AI in a creative and research-based project? And what do you think, will AI take over jobs from humans?
Hey y'all, I'm Ashar, and I'm the creative disruptor of this book. So we are a funky group. All of us, it's an all-women team. It's the first book in the region by women we are using artificial intelligence, and something like this has never been done before for a children's book at least. So this is the first book in the region using generative AI to create the visuals. And it started off using human intelligence, of course. So again, it was a blend of HI, that's human intelligence, and AI, that's artificial intelligence. So it happened to us in a stream of thoughts in the clouds on a random day in Feb. And that's how we started exploring many softwares. And one of them was Midjourney. We used the prompts and we got a couple of images. We had to manipulate all of them using Photoshop. And the pictures on the right is the very first prototype of Omar and Sarah. So Mehnaz created a mock-up of Omar and Sarah. That's the very first book.
Yeah, I think Sadia here, my partner, she and I sat one day. I don't think yeah. We didn't realize that we would start with that and end up with this.
Yes, it was a
amazing journey
of, I think, 9 or 10 months.
Yes.
Okay, so the whole idea was to break down complex ideas, because climate change is it's a very complicated idea, into simple one for kids. Even for us as adults, what is climate change? it is something that's very, very complex. So the whole notion was to break it down into simple things. The learning curve was quite steep because Midjourney keeps updating its interface every 30 seconds. And again, answering Mehnaz's question, artificial intelligence will not replace us. So as an architectural engineer myself, I really like this quote. Artificial intelligence will not replace architects, but architects who know AI will definitely replace the other regular architects. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashar. Before we move on to further details of the book, I would like to welcome our guests here, from Despina Tampakopoulou. She stands as a distinguished architect specialized in sustainability. Her journey began with a degree from UWCC and an MSc in environmental design of buildings. For 13 years, Despina led her own architectural practice in Greece, establishing herself as a trailblazer in the field. In 2013, she joined CCC to spearhead the completion of the Presidential Palace of Abu Dhabi. And since then, Despina has been at the forefront of iconic projects in the UAE, including Dubai Opera House and Opera Grand Tower. Her expertise extends beyond architecture, embodying a commitment to sustainable practices and a profound impact on the landscape of hospitality, cultural projects, and commercial ventures. Please join us in welcoming Despina Tampakopoulou, a visionary leader shaping the future of sustainable architecture. Thank you for being here with us.
So, good afternoon.
Hi. If I may ask you, I'm going to ask you to shed some light about the eco-art movement and mainly shed some light about adopting sustainable principles in the master planning stage of architecture and how there needs to be an awareness of this in not just adults but also children.
Great. First of all, I would like to thank everybody and thank Polly Green for the invitation. I sit among friends. There's many people in the audience that are my friends and colleagues, and I thank them for coming today. I have lived in the past year in UAE, and I'm very deep into the issues that we all face when it comes to designing new projects with our colleagues and implementing all sustainable, strategies and tackling the problems that arise from the climate itself. This is the biggest challenge we have to face. Actually, look at our experience coming here. What was the most important thing? Shading. Yes. We all suffered and felt a bit uncomfortable because we went through spaces which lacked shading. So these simple things alter the entire experience of everybody living in society and experiencing the built environment. Today I was requested to talk a bit about eco-art and the impact of art in sustainability awareness. It is well known that these movements, they start around the 80s and 90s mainly. And they involve many artists around the world in all sectors of art. It can be sculptures, it can be painting, it can be a big installation outdoors, or it can be a performance. Actually, for me, eco-art should be the punch in our stomach, should be about the things we didn't do and the things we need to do. It should be a constant reminder of our responsibility, and it's about our ethos. Ethos is a very Greek word and a small word, but it means great things. So sustainability is about responsibility of each individual. It starts from home, and it ends in our, very advanced designs and our very big careers, trying to teach everybody what is important and what we should be reminded of in our everyday lives. So eco-artists was a big movement that is still ongoing. They are using sustainable materials to create big installation, either in collaboration with scientists. There has been examples of installations out there in the ocean where recyclable materials were used to recreate and transform let's say industrial waste into blocks that created later on reefs and populated the seabed to create ecosystems for improving their environment and turning hazardous materials into something positive. This is one example. Or they were used often enough to raise public awareness. I mean, planting a landfill in contrast to a big finance center was one of the best things I can remember, where it was very striking as the planted landfill was giving you that big contrast of the powerful people and the finance people sitting up there, while the importance is saving our planet and, you know, working towards improving and restoring the environment. Eco-artists try to remind us about the importance of restoration and what is important even for not only artists but for architects is to preserve the memory. This is something we often fail at. We have these very huge briefs and demanding briefs to construct something different, something new, and then the end product of our work has eliminated all memory of the place. This is a very big mistake we often make as architects. So we are responsible to preserve those things, not only artists. The entire society should be responsible to preserve the memory, to create, we are all asked to improve and to go towards the future, but we should not be disruptive. Nowadays, we all travel 100,000 miles to be in a paradise place where we should be close at nature because we have destroyed the nature that surrounds us. So we are all striving to zero carbon emission and making all this fuss about it, and we are the very ones, and I start from myself, that we have destroyed the natural environment, and we are bringing ourselves in this position and our children in this position. So it is something we should all pause and think about whenever we are tackling a new project, whenever we are tackling a new master plan. I mean, my colleague, Sotirios Tsoulis, who is sitting in the audience now, is a renowned master planner. And we had this discussion before we came here, right, Sotirios? I mean, all these big developers, we are creating those isolated communities which are totally disconnected from the main, web of the city itself. So what people have to do every day, we have to take the car, travel 100,000 miles to get to our work, polluting the environment. There is no cycle paths, nothing. The community itself that sits isolated in an area of cheaper land, because this is what it's all about. It's about the quest of a cheaper land to build on. So developers seek those lands, and we are called as architects and master planners to develop something viable there. But how sustainable is this? True. We should stop and think about it. We are creating these hubs of people living together where there is no connection with the rest of the city. So in the end of the day, we are putting ourselves in these positions where we are creating the obligation to the user to travel a long distance.
Thank you very much for your explanation. And I love that it is a punch in our gut. And
Certainly.
that's how we should be prompted towards action before it's too late.
I think just want to share something. It links very well with what you just said, because it's the isolated disruptive thinking. And I think it links back very well with the book that we are just talking about, because it talks about how do you connect, because we still think food generation is different than energy. But food generation should be part of our master plan and regenerative architecture, right?
Exactly.
So children learn how to grow food, they eat the food that they have grown, and they connect that food grown takes energy and water and all that. So thank you so much for sharing that, because that's the essence of our book as well.
Yes.
How do we connect the food, energy, and water in a more conscious way of approaching life?
If you ask me, I'm heading towards 50 years old now, okay? If you ask me where is my ideal environment to live in, it's not in a high-rise tower up in the 72-story, okay? It's in a little country house outdoors where I can grow perhaps my own food. I can be in contact with nature and be away from all these disruptive, things like cars, traffic, and so on, which is wasting our time. The most precious thing we have in life is time.
Yes.
And look
And
at
that's another
what's
thing.
happening to us nowadays.
Yes. And that's another thing that the book really talks about focusing on the connections and the communication between the different ecosystems and striving to create that harmony between the living world and the non-living world and creating a better place for everyone to live in. So this is our team, and I feel there's something magical that happens when women come together, and it is a far more personal investment. I think everyone that we've worked with together in this project, they've personally wanted to create an impact. So I'm going to ask each of you, very short, can you give one word of advice to our young readers? What is one takeaway that they can take from the book or from life in general? Anyone would like to start? Feel free, go ahead.
Be curious. Yeah, be curious. That's it. Yeah, be curious. Yes.
Read.
Read. Yes, and read our book.
Definitely.
For me, it's important to be involved.
Be involved. Amazing.
What I would say is co-create. Come
That's amazing.
together and create something new. This picture is very, very important. This was our first meeting. This was our first meeting where all of us met in a cafe in Sheikh Zayed, and this amazing lady and Sadia there built the book by hand, which I'm holding. So this, it's very important because she created a graphics that we fell in love with, and you and Sadia created something with your hand that we felt, and then the journey started. So that's why I think it's so important to think and innovate and then co-create. Yeah.
Yes. I'll come back to that in a bit, but before that, I'd like to play these two videos. Again, we're talking about collaborations, about working together. These are two young Emirati innovators and scientists, and they have kindly led some words. Nahla, would you like to give an introduction?
Yeah, before we go into the videos, I'm very happy. I mean, that's Adib. He's one of the first Emirati scientists. He was a little kid. And curious was the word, I think, that actually helped him through his journey. And so the video is going to go through him, and he has another, I think, there's another lady, Dana, also a little child, who also curious, was the one that broke the way and made them, investigate and become either, one of them was a scientist and the other one was a little author. And we're going to show the videos.
He had like multiple patents to his name by the time he was 10. It was amazing. So let's look at his video.
Hello everyone, I'm Adib, the youngest Emirati scientist, and it fills me with immense pride and joy to share this message for the launch of Mission Zero at COP28. While I can't be there in person, my heart is full of excitement and hope. Having written the foreword for this inspiring book makes this moment even more special to me. This book is not just about understanding complex scientific concepts, it's about inspiring young minds everywhere, especially in the UAE, to engage with crucial issues like climate change and sustainability. I am particularly thrilled that Mission Zero is being launched as part of COP28 right here in the UAE. It's an honor to represent my country on such a significant platform and to contribute to a global dialogue on environmental action. To all the young people listening, I want you to know that your dreams have no boundaries. My journey as a scientist began at a young age here in the UAE, a land that fosters innovation and ambition. You too can make a difference in the world, starting from where you are. Let Mission Zero ignite your passion for science and the environment. Let it remind you that even as kids, you have the power to contribute to a more sustainable future. And more importantly, let it be a testament to the UAE's dedication to nurturing young minds and leading in the fight against climate change.
Now we have another video from Dana Al-Bulishi, also a young Emirati.
Hi, I'm Donna Al-Balushi, and I'm an Emirati author and innovator with a passion for space, women's issues, and inspiring young girls. It's an honor to speak to you today about Mission Zero. At just 9 years old, I was the youngest Emirati to train at NASA and earned 9 certificates in space engineering. These experiences have shown me that age is not a barrier to achieving your dreams. Mission Zero embodies the spirit of limitless potential and the power of youth. This book, especially being launched at COP28, is a beacon of hope and inspiration. It's an essential tool for educating and empowering our generation about the challenges and solutions related to climate change, sustainability, and the environment. As a young girl who was always aimed high, I want to encourage all the young girls and boys listening that you can achieve incredible things. Your ideas, your passion, and your actions can change the world. Let's take inspiration from Mission Zero and strive to make a positive impact, just like how I've pursued my dreams in space engineering. Together, we can reach new heights and create a better future for our planet.
We believe the best tool to fight climate change is an educated child. So we need to ensure our book, our mission, to reach 10 million children by 2040. Educate children and they will flourish.
Now, to officially declare the book launch, I'm going to ask Nahla to pick up a copy of the book and to read the quote from Dr. Jane Goodall, from the Dr. Jane Goodall Foundation about Mission Zero.
So growing up, I've idolized Dr. Jane. I've passed this along to my kids. And they've been very kind to have given me a quote for the book. It just goes, Mission Zero brings our biggest environmental and climate change challenges to a young audience in an engaging and creative way. From deforestation, waste, and the greenhouse effect to the profound importance of biodiversity and conservation. They explore various sustainability approaches and also the science that has led to possible solutions. It is so important for education today to not only represent a holistic approach, but to also encourage an interest and passion for the world of science. This book serves to do that. Our human impact on the heating up of the planet has escalated in the past decades. Time is running out. This book offers an engaging and creative way forward, as well as practical solution, and it is a recommended read for all those dedicated to playing their part in a more sustainable future. Dr. Jane Goodall, founder, the Jane Goodall Institute, and UN Messenger of Peace. Thank you.
Congratulations, ladies. Thank you all for coming. If you'd like to scan the code, or you can pick up a copy here, and the authors will be happy to sign your books for you. The books are priced at a special pre-order discount of 60 dirhams today. Please let us know if you'd like to grab a copy. Thank you.
Does anybody
and
have
a
any
great day.
questions for us? Just out of curiosity, no? Okay.
I know the ladies of the panel are all very experienced and have like a wealth of knowledge and experience behind them. So I wanted everyone to, I wanted to request each one of you to give one example of a project you've worked on or a contribution you've made to sustainability that you feel has had a big impact.
I can't think of one. There are so many. I think one would be COP28 itself. Then there's this project I'm working.
Why?
Sorry?
Why it's COP28? Maybe just say a little bit about why do you think it's important for you?
Oh, because it's a carbon neutral event, and of course this is the need of an hour. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
My experience is in the transport sector, and I've worked in aviation, I've worked in airports, and throughout which I've managed to ensure that one of the important aspects, like the scope 3, I don't know if you guys understand. There's the scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 emissions. So one of the projects was to capture and calculate a scope 3, which was back then was not very common. And we had to put mitigations to ensure our scope 3, whether it's from our suppliers and our third parties, are actually controlled.
I would like to mention two things. One contribution was very early in my student years, and was my dissertation involving the full guide for autonomous housing in Athens, Greece. So this was a complete guide on how an individual architect can design accommodation completely disconnected from the grids for the climate of Athens. And then, of course, one of the projects I'm proud of, because it serves as an iconic reminder, is UAE Pavilion, where we led the architectural team under Calatrava. And this is one of the projects I'm very proud of.
And a beautiful one, too.
For me, it would be 15 years ago. I was working in London, and we were working on a small school, which for grade 1 nursery level to grade 12. And that's when we thought of doing something related to net zero. So we tried to Google it, and Google didn't have a definition for net zero. So it was very interesting. I worked on that project for 4 years, but the interesting part is to get the teachers involved and children involved to understand what they wanted the school would look like, feel like, and what sustainability meant for them. I learned a lot from the school children from 8 to 12 years old, and from the teachers. And when we built the school, it took us a year to build the school, and after we built the school, we went to monitor the school. And one of the things we asked the teachers to do is to have eco-heroes. Now, it was 15 years ago, right? So we had to come up with different ideas for children to take ownership and make the school sustainable. But what I learned from the kids and the teachers was more precious, because as an engineer, I try to engineer everything and I have Excel spreadsheets. But the experience side of sustainability, I learned a lot, how to say storytelling, how to make it simplified for children, for people. After now 20 years, I'm working in COP28 and writing this book. The lessons I learned, I still carry on, and I think one of the lessons I learned 15 years ago kind of got reflected in this book, because we wrote this book now. But also when we are looking at, so as ACOM, we are working on the carbon and sustainability management for COP28 for the UAE government. And one of the things we're looking at the experience of sustainability, as well as the technical sustainability. So yes, it's a lesson learned and taking forward. Connecting with what you were saying, your dissertation and then the projects, yeah.
That's amazing.
I know we've shared this, but we're also very proud that this is an all-women's group. So from the publishers, us as the authors, the disruptor, the illustrator, our communications, we've had, and I would like to invite them over here, Saadia, Sam. These guys were all amazing women behind this. Please come, please. So these are the amazing women behind this. Do you want to say a little bit about Sam? Come here.
About no, I'm good.
And we're very happy to have her, so there's more women. And a little woman. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for coming here. We are so...
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed Mission Zero. I hope you read the book and get it for your children, your nieces, your nephews, and every little person should read this book. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
hope to see you soon.